Las Vegas Raiders are in a really interesting spot right now because they're really not good. This is a really bad team. However, they may be just good enough to be out of range for the top quarterbacks in the 2026 NFL Draft. There are really three that I expect to be first-round picks pretty much no matter what, as long as they declare. That's Fernando Mendoza from Indiana, Dante Moore from Oregon. He's kind of the one that I don't know if he's going to declare. And then, of course, Ty Simpson from Alabama. The Raiders are currently somewhere between 6 and 10 in the draft, and you may not be able to get a quarterback unless you trade up. Obviously, it's the trade deadline, the midseason mark, so they could absolutely get worse than they are now and end up picking in quarterback range, but otherwise, this team may need to trade up. They just traded Jacoby Myers to Jacksonville, and although Brock Bowers is one of the best overall offensive players in the league, I think we can say at this point, they did draft Ashton Genty at running back instead of maybe getting a guy like Armand Membu to help out that offensive line, which is really not good. On one hand, I totally get it, because how often is a player like Ashton Genty going to come along? I get that. But at the same time, I also get that if you can get a better offensive line in place, it doesn't matter if you have a better running back. A worse running back can outproduce him if there's a better offensive framework in place. So I kind of get why people are kind of down on the Genty pick. I think he's a tremendous player. He's already played well as a rookie. But one of my jobs here, rebuilding this Raiders team, is to get an offensive line in place. We need to find a quarterback. We now need big-time weapons at receiver. Not that Jacoby Myers was ever an amazing one, but he was really solid. And, of course, that defense needs a lot of work. I think we might be getting to the point where I don't know that Tyree Wilson has been the greatest pick for Vegas, so got to upgrade the edge outside of Max Crosby. There's not really a lot to be excited about on defense. Use code BENGAL on Underdog, the sponsor of today's video, because it's the best place to play daily fantasy sports. They're running promos and specials every day, and of course, I've been doing pretty well lately. In select places on mobile, they have team picks now, but these are my 3 picks. I really like the tight end picks, right? And these 3 have very good matchups. Kyle Pitts against Indianapolis. He's been really starting to come into his own again after a great rookie year, then kind of downhill ever since. Dalton Schultz has one of the best matchups. He's been well higher than 34.5 yards recently. And he's got that connection with Davis Mills. No CJ Stroud. I'm thinking Dalton Schultz could be a good safety net for Davis Mills. And Oronde Gadsden is turning into the #1 receiving threat on this Chargers team. And in a great matchup against Pittsburgh, I think he could have a good night. The new customer gimme pick for this weekend is Aaron Rodgers to record a pass or rush yard. You're good to go. It's a free pick. You can add it to that 3-man entry I showed earlier, so long as you live in one of the states that's either gold or yellow, like Wyoming, California, Texas, Florida, Vermont, New Hampshire, a lot of things in between. Thank you to Underdog for sponsoring this video. Use code BENGAL. You'll get access to so many great promos, boosts, new customer specials, and thank you to Underdog for sponsoring this video. Please remember to play responsibly and use code BENGAL. So, of course, with this roster, there have not been any updates yet. Jacoby Myers is still a Raider, so we're going to make that trade to start. But, man, this is really not a good receiving core. As soon as we trade Jacoby Myers, it's going to be Trey Tucker, Tyler Lockett, Jack Besh, and Dante Thornton. Now, Dante Thornton could be an absolute monster here in the game for us. He is 6'5", 205 pounds, with elite speed. Now, of course, at this size and with this type of explosiveness, you typically have a problem with change of direction and separating as a route runner. So Thornton might only end up being a one-trick pony, and his one trick might be pretty good. Hey, run down the field fast and get open. You know, we've seen DK Metcalf make a career out of that skill set. Not to say that Thornton's on the same level that DK Metcalf was coming out of Ole Miss, but it's the same idea. DK Metcalf is just like the best version of that archetype. That's what we want to try and build Dante Thornton into. So we're going to create some space to get him on the field. Tyler Lockett, sorry. This is my first move. It's just not really worth rostering him at this point. Geno, man, was pretty good last year and the year before. He's bad now. He fell off a cliff. He's had quite an arc where he was kind of a high draft pick, top of the second round, and then down, playing with the Jets. Flatline backup quarterback to suddenly he's a starter and playing well. And now he's awful again. And at 34 years old, this is probably just it for Geno Smith as a starter. Still got 3 years left on his deal. I'm not paying him this type of money. I don't think that we're going to be able to find a trade partner. He becomes a cut candidate. That's what it's going to be. Huge move for us. Jacoby Myers to the Jags. We get back a 4th and a 6th. Yeah, stoked on that. Who am I going to draft with those? I can't wait to find out. Offensive line, when healthy, you know, there are some players here. Colton Miller's a stud. We're going to have to try and build an offensive line around him. You can see he has an extension through 2028. So left tackle is great. It's just the everything else. I like Jackson Powers-Johnson. I mean, we have some hidden dev with some of the younger offensive linemen. Like Dylan Parham is not awful. Caleb Rogers is a fairly athletic option here. Probably will try and start him at right guard just because he's a rookie with hidden dev. It's obviously going to be star. And then Jackson Powers-Johnson, I think, is going to be our starting center. I think that's how we want to go ahead and organize things. Charles Grant is an interesting option because he's another super athletic, in real life, super long arms on the offensive line. Bit of a project. If you can develop him, you might have a future starter. But for right now, in real life, he's probably pretty far away from that. However, here in the game, got to play to our strengths, and that is youth and development traits. And we're probably just going to play Charles Grant at right tackle and consider this to be a bit of a lost season. I'd rather have him than DJ or Delmar Glaze. So that's where I am on that. Oh, I'm sorry. We're getting the cold shoulder. Was Dylan Parham just looking the other direction when we clicked on him? Oh, my goodness. He's so loyal to Pete Carroll that, you know, head coach Gene Dangus comes in with the new regime. Dylan Parham won't even look at me. But he'll be our starting right guard. Man, I can't even really look at this defense. It's so bad. This is the best version of it. It's Max Crosby and then nobody else. No disrespect to Jeremy Chin. I mean, Malcolm Kuntz, I think, is a player that has played well at times, but is 27 years old and is really only a rush specialist, in my opinion. So I don't really know that he's going to be a 3-down player for us for the future. We have to think about how these players fit in Madden. That's where we're playing. Tyree Wilson maybe has the most potential, but he's already 25. Not really very developed. I just don't know what we can really do with him, unfortunately. I guess the only other player outside of Max Crosby that feels like they have potential is Darian Porter, and that's because he's young-ish, 24. He's got star development. Maybe it's superstar. It isn't. And he's a really, really good athlete. 86 jumping kind of feels insanely bad. Didn't he jump like 40 inches at the combine? 36.5-inch vert, so not quite the 40. And then a 10-foot, 11-inch broad jump. 86 just feels a touch light for that. But I don't know. You guys have a pretty good overview of the team at this point. Let's go ahead and simulate to the midseason mark. We're going to do training camp. We got to get an edge on the other teams here. We want to get a pretty good start and set up scouting, things like that. But I'll pretty much just see you guys at the midseason mark. We're not going to do any trades until the deadline. So that feels like a ridiculously long setup and intro to this video. But we're probably not even going to make any trades at the deadline because the deadlines happen in real life. It's past, and the Raiders only made these trades. Of course, I'm taking over now, but I don't even know what we would trade. Like Jeremy Chin? I'm not trading Max Crosby. I think the Raiders have shown every indication that they have no desire to trade Max Crosby, and why would you? He is one of the best players in the league overall. He is a team leader by all accounts. He is the Raiders, right? Like, when I think Raider over the past decade, it's Max Crosby and then nobody else, really. It is Max Crosby. So, why trade that guy? try to build around him. I think he's still young enough where there's a window. So we're going to try and do the same. There are just so many holes in this roster. It's so bad. So we need some of these players just to become, you know, overnight sensations. We need some players to come out of nowhere and be really, really serviceable starters because there are only so many picks and there's only so much money, right? We've got our work cut out for us. It is going to be a challenge, but we can do it. I know we can. I didn't even mention Jamal Adams or Devin White being on this team. Jamal Adams is a linebacker now, I guess, and there's good reason for that. I didn't mention it because it doesn't matter. Who do I even try to develop here? Max Crosby? Tyree Wilson, I guess. Maybe we can do something with Tommy Eichenberg. I don't really know, but he's young enough. If we can get him up to star dev, maybe he has a good season. Maybe we've got something, but I don't know. I'm going to say we probably need to upgrade every linebacker spot. At least 3 spots in our secondary. And at least 3 spots on the defensive line. I mean, it's pretty bad. Okay, Tommy Eichenberg got star dev, because of course he did. It's an interesting development, I guess. We got to get Darian Porter upgraded. I'm not even convinced we should keep Jeremy Chin for the future. But I don't know what his trade value is. It's just a weird spot. I'm not stoked about what we have currently. It's just, I keep saying it, but there's so much to do. This draft class look like region breakdown, strengths corner, left tackle, defensive tackle. I mean, it's a position, so we do actually need it because we need every position. I don't even know. We're just going to take best player available, obviously. Long way until the draft, but it's BPA. Name a position we don't need. Running back and tight end. 2. Everything else we could draft, which is so bad. National focus position seems like corner is the only choice. There's something about the name Hugh Knox. It feels like there's a joke in there. I can't find it. And it's basically the joke would be changing his name from Hugh to Huge and his last name from Knox to something else that sounds like Knox, but this is a PG show nowadays. Can't fuck around with any of the, or I can't mess around with any inappropriate jokes. But get 24 players here at the deadline to potentially extend. I mean, it's not the extension deadline, but it's a trade deadline. We're not trading anybody, as I mentioned. Eric Stokes, former first-round pick. He's cheap. Him being a former first-round pick holds no weight because it doesn't matter anymore. I feel like it's kind of like a degree. You use it to get the job, and then once you have the job, it's like, here's my degree. I graduated in 1986, and it's in communications, and now I'm an accountant. That maybe isn't a good comparison. You might actually need an accounting degree to be an accountant. I don't know. I've never been an accountant before. I can't account for what it takes. Okay. I am delirious, but I have extended Eric Stokes. Dylan Parham, I think, for 3 years could be good. Yeah, he'll probably be near an 80 overall for a lot of that. You know, up or down on either side of that. Outside of that, not really a lot I like here. We're going to try to hit the reset button a little bit. And that means by getting rid of all this dead weight, we can actually get better in the future. Dylan Carlson's 30 already. I feel like I remember him at Auburn. Time flies. We'll give him a 4-year extension and not worry about kickers again. Nope, he doesn't like it. Well, I don't care. We're 2-8. Browns are 1-9. This is the Toilet Bowl. This may be the battle for the #1 overall pick here. And we come out victorious, but also not, because you don't really even want to win when you're 2-8. I mean, you do a little bit, but I mean, tank for the pick here in Madden at this point. There are a couple of quarterbacks. I don't like that one is 5'11", 235. That's an interesting build. But we need to find out if any of these quarterbacks can be our quarterback of the future. There are 4 that are expected to go in round 1. One that's a fringe option in Carlos Perez with D awareness. He's unlikely to be the guy. But we're going to check out the quarterbacks. We need one. 6-11 is our final record here for Season 1. Gino was fine, not good, didn't really do anything. As Genty went for 1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns. That may be good enough for Rookie of the Year. We'll find out. Brock Bowers had a pretty good year for a tight end, but not a great season by Brock Bowers standards. I mean, he does 4 touchdowns in a game, basically. Dante Thornton, very good rookie year for where my expectations were. Jack Besh as well, 6 touchdowns. We'll take that. 50 catches, not too bad. And then defensively, it was Max Crosby and then everybody else. Hey, credit to Tyree Wilson and Jonah Laulu with 11 TFLs. I feel like that's not pronounced Laulu. But I don't know. 14.5 sacks for Crosby. 5.5 for Tonka Hemingway. Big play Darnay with a couple of picks. Eric Stokes Porter in there as well. Chin and John Radigan with an interception. Really bad team. Really bad year. But there is time to fix it. Let's head to the offseason and start this rebuild for real. Ravens beat the Commanders in the Super Bowl. Lamar wins MVP of the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts got league MVP. And the Lions take home Offensive and Defensive Player of the Year. Genty does win Offensive Rookie of the Year. That may catapult him to X Factor. And Jahad Campbell wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. Ravens and Commanders is interesting because they're like 40 minutes away from each other. I feel like that isn't a rivalry at all. They don't play very regularly, and it's never talked about. But they are within an hour of each other on, in terms of the stadiums. Could be a fun local rivalry, but it isn't. We will head to the offseason. I don't really think there's anybody to re-sign. Again, maybe Carlson, but I'm not picking up the 5th-year option on Tyree Wilson. We are not bringing back Malcolm Kuntz. It really is just the kicker. And Daniel Carlson's now 31. He'd like to be here, but there's not really a point to bringing him back. So we're going to head to free agency. We have plenty of money, but we need more. I need to get Geno Smith off the books. He's going to get cut really, really soon. And there really are not many good free agents here. Who actually helps us? I mean, probably a lot of players would help us because the team's so bad, but who do we actually feel good about for the future? Cordell Flott is here. He's actually a fairly good player for the Giants. And, I mean, all these receivers apparently suck. Although Everett Lawson apparently showing out with an insane vert. Okay, Everett. Was he Mac McClung? Is that his name? Josh Francisco is a good running back who we might consider. And Old Dominion quarterback Damian Harris has skipped the combine due to injuries. These are not very encouraging reports. However, here's maybe why you don't go out and sign a corner. Because this draft has very good corners. 2 guaranteed top 5 talents. And I'll tell you, John Crowther down the board looks like he could be a top 5 talent. He looks incredible. I think we could build a secondary just out of cornerbacks in this draft. It's a possibility. They're man specialists, though. Isaiah Linton looks very good. We're definitely going to draft a corner. A lot of round 1 talents in here. Round 1 to 2 and Shaq Franklin down the board. Slot option. Coverage isn't great, but I guess his man coverage is okay. Special teamers down the board that we can definitely get, round 2 to 3 guys that are projected to go undrafted currently. There's plenty of talent here. Plenty of talent. But is there a USC run support strong safety? I don't think zone USC free safety doesn't do anything for me. But run support USC strong safety, that's a generational player every single time. But no such luck at the top of the board. Ooh, Andy Richardson from Texas Tech just has A everything. That seems like a player we might want to draft. All right, Andy Richardson and Max Crosby. That'd be a heck of an edge duo. I mean, all these guys can really get after. A lot of big-time power rushers in this class. This looks like a pretty good draft class. I mean, there are a lot of players that I'd like to be able to draft, but I don't really want to trade future picks because we just have so many holes. I don't really want to give up draft picks, but this class looks really good. The next one, there's no guarantee that it's going to be on this level. I mean, look at these guys. Here's Zachary Jackson. He's got B. Well, he's got awful speed, but he's a very good route runner and can catch. And I'm not really that interested. I mean, he's such a weird archetype. Insane route runner with no speed. I'm intrigued, to be honest. He might actually be unreal. Not like receivers our biggest need, because Dante Thornton's just going to be a monster. Dante Thornton's going to be a very, very good player for us. But could add more. Mario Caldwell, 24-year-old Wisconsin running back, A, ball carrier vision, 4.41 speed, A, trucking down the board, but B, spin move. That is my Ashton Genty backup. Gotta be. Quarterback, hey, we got round 1 to 2 talents. That's good. Absolutely good enough to draft those guys high in the draft. The potential UDFA talent as a round 1 quarterback, I'm not as intrigued by, believe it or not. But the top 2, definitely. So we're targeting Nakobe Dean, Ivan Pace, Andre Sisco, Ronnie Hickman, and Chad Ryland, because you got to get a kicker in there at some point. And we do get Andre Sisco. Not bad. He's 26 years old. I think good enough to start at free safety. Ronnie Hickman, I think, could be in the conversation to start at strong safety. I know we have Jeremy Chin, who I could just make a money backer type of player. And I don't think that's an awful option. We also got Keely Ringo, good depth in the secondary. He's only 24 years old. Got him on a really, really cheap deal, about $3 million per year. Pretty good. NFL draft time. We are picking at number 6 overall, and we might just stick and pick. I also think a good method could be trading down. There are some top 5 cornerbacks that we know about. They're not really expected to go all that high in the draft. So, I don't know. And it's not even the end of the world if we miss out on one of the guaranteed top 5 talents at corner, because John Crowther, who's a round 1 talent, is 6'2" with very good speed. I'd be very happy with that if we got him way down the board. We know we need quarterback. Could absolutely take one of the top couple here. But Deion Simmons is an interesting player because he's really athletic. The accuracy is maybe a problem. It says he has elite speed, but it's not like going to be in the 90s. It's 4 or 5. So I mean, it could be in the 90s, but it's not going to be like 99. He's not like a generational super athlete. But I don't know. I feel like a trade down might be the best way to go about things and just take the best player we can when the time comes. But I'm not trading up. The edge rusher I thought was like fringe, not generational, but looked amazing, Andy Richardson. In the end is maybe not worth drafting or trading up to draft at number 1. So if we wanted a quarterback, Deion Simmons is our bet. But I just didn't want to trade up in this draft. We have too many holes. I don't know that Deion Simmons is the answer to those holes, but I didn't want to trade up in this draft for a QB. It just didn't seem like the time. I don't know if they were good enough to move up for, good enough to stay put in draft maybe, but you'd have to trade up a lot to move up into the top 3. Quarterbacks off the board at 2 and 4. I just don't think it was worth doing, as I've said. We're going to make this trade, sending Jeremy Chin, a 2nd-round pick next year, and a 3rd and a 7th in 2028 for number 24 from the 49ers. I really feel like I should be able to turn number 6 overall into 14 and 16 with Dallas. Can't do it. And it's not like I can add in a player because all of these teams are so far in the wrong direction against the cap that you can't add a player to these deals. Only picks can be exchanged here, so we're in a bit of a tough spot. Went out to get 24 because I think that will help me get 14 and 16. But at that point, I'd rather just keep 24 and then try to get something else with a trade down. Number 6, 2 4s and a 6th this year. The Jacoby Myers trade is gone. Gets us a first this year and next year from Dallas. I think that makes the most sense. We'll go ahead and move down from number 6 here. There's going to be players on the board that we like. I want to get as many picks as possible. So, yeah, trading the mid-round picks is kind of tough, but we can still draft a top 5 player here at number 14 if we want to. Isaiah Linton looks quite good. Really good athlete, and I think will be the pick. Not really any reason to trade down. Only 21 years old as well. He's going to be a lockdown corner. He's the number 4 player in the draft. We got him at 14. Hidden dev, 93 speed, 95 change of direction. Obviously, the abilities seem pretty good as well. I'm really happy with that pick. The only question is whether or not we want to go and get a quarterback at 24. I'm going to say Deion Simmons has potential, but I don't know if it's worth the pick. It's certainly not worth a trade-up. So to me, I'm thinking, let's stay where we are at 24. Maybe consider a trade down. Maybe take Crowther if he gets to 24. But I'm not trading up for a whatever quarterback potential. Now, the interesting thing about this draft pick, Zach Jackson, I hesitate to take, one, because I don't know that he's a significant upgrade at receiver. I also think he might have normal development because of the negative draft story about him. Now, there was a positive draft story about Everett Lawson, but I don't really see the upside. He's a decent athlete, but I don't think the skills are good enough to warrant being selected here. So what we're actually going to do is take the swing on the quarterback. What makes Deion Simmons potentially a little bit different than a guy like LaMichael Meekins in my Saints franchise, who's a really good athlete and then not a little accurate, kind of a whatever arm. Deion Simmons has great throw power. So that with decent enough accuracy, a break sack, we might have something here. Is Virginia Tech Scrambler? Is this my Michael Vick? Unlikely. But we're going to take the swing here at the back end of the first with Deion Simmons. He's ranked at number 61. We did not think he was going to be ranked especially high. Feels pressure and delivers under fire. Excels when throwing in the move. Perfect placement on screens and checkdowns. He does have hidden dev. 92 throw power, 90 speed and acceleration is not bad. And with how easy it is to develop players through training camp, this might actually be a great pickup for us. It's a little bit of a project, probably, but the accuracy is at least okay right now. And I think it's got the potential to get a lot better, obviously. So we're taking a swing on a quarterback late in the first. We got that 5th-year option, which is going to be really good for our finances. And we'll see if we can find some type of good value play down the board here. I'm thinking about trading down if we can get a first-round pick next year. That might be the best way to go about it. We obviously don't need a tight end. I'm not really that stoked about the players available. There's some, okay guys, but I really think we're probably just going to look for a first-round pick next year if we can do that. There are 2 players who are interesting here. Kurt DeVoe. Well, maybe there are a few, but Kurt DeVoe is interesting. He's got B hit power, B man, A awareness, C play rec, C zone coverage, B hit power. Could be a decent value down the board. And then the linebacker, Cesar Castillo. Only 21 years old. Only C block shed and C tackle, but elite speed. We need linebacker so badly. A awareness, B play rec. If we can't get a first for this, which we can, I think I would just stay pat. But we're getting some first-round offers. It's just who's actually going to be bad. I feel like I can see the Colts being not that great. I think the Bills sometimes don't simulate that well. Maybe the Dolphins. Can we make a trade with Miami? Okay, we're making a trade. Michael Mayer, a 2nd this year, a 4th next year, or 4th 2 years from now, and a 6th next year for Brian Brzee and a 1st from Miami. So we are trading completely out of this spot. We are trading Michael Mayer. I just think backup tight end in Madden doesn't really matter all that much. So I would rather pick up Brian Brzee, who's got a chance to be our best interior defensive lineman right now. Still feel like there's some pretty good running backs available. I mean, Josh Francisco had a story about him. He's a little bit slow. I think I prefer to take the other running back down the board. It's obviously just not a big need for us, right? So don't really want to invest a particularly high pick in, somebody we don't absolutely need. Jesus Francisco looks like he could be pretty good value at this point. I mean, we're round 3 at this point, so whatever we can get that has a chance to see the field is probably good. Corey Kershaw looks like a really solid nose tackle option. He's probably awesome down the board. Marshall Randall looks even better. This is a player we probably just can't miss on. And if we still have our 4, I'm going to make it happen. But we've been so active that I think it's gone. So if we want him, it kind of needs to be now. Maybe I can get like a 3rd and a 4th and a 5th maybe or something like that. But I'm not really seeing exactly what I want here. Could make something happen. I'll take that. 3rd round pick this year and next year from the Commanders. Some more swings of the bat. Gives us a better chance to get better, which is what we're looking at. Corey Kershaw does get drafted, but I'm thinking the defensive tackle we want is still going to be available. Looks like there was a bit of a run on defensive tackles here, but we didn't move back that far. I feel like he should still be available, but he is gone. No way, dude. That is a huge miss. Is his name Marshall Randall? Did the Colts grab him at 85? Yeah, that feels like a pretty big miss. He looked very good and at a position of need. Sometimes you just got to take the player that can help you when they're there. Why even risk it, I guess? Like, there are some decent players later. Okay, DeAndre Alexander also looks like he could be quite good. Expected to go undrafted. We're just going to take him here. DeAndre Alexander is a top 50 player. We got him at 95. Maybe a blessing in disguise here. Good anchor and strong push on film, able to easily disengage blocks in the run game, and routinely converts leverage into power when rushing the passer. He's got hidden dev, 90 strength, 76 speed, 78 acceleration. Maybe a blessing in disguise, and we got a 3rd round pick next year to show for it. Jesus Francisco is still here. He's got A tackle, C block shed, and great speed in the 6th round. Yeah, we'll try it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. He's ranked number 105, took him at 166. Can be trusted to make tackles in open field. Will have trouble keeping up with tight ends and running backs. Seems weird with great speed. Slow to react to developing plays. He's got normal dev, 84 speed, 87 acceleration. Might be a little bit of a project, but hey, maybe there's something there. And I do probably want to trade back into this draft. Well, I have a 7th. We have 3 first-rounders next year now. Speed running that Jets rebuild. I would take anything for Geno. Is there any team that can afford to take on this contract? Bucks need a quarterback. What happened to Baker? How is their number 1 need quarterback? Seems wrong. The Browns can afford it. Mac Jones is their current guy. They are out of picks in this draft. Commanders' top need is quarterback. Cowboys, like, what? I mean, I guess it makes sense if you're making a move for a backup. Jags apparently need a quarterback as well. Yeah, they're looking for a backup. I'll trade Geno for 2-6 easily. I'll do that trade every day of the week. Got Deion Johns watched here. It's a great pass-protecting offensive lineman. Kind of a one-trick pony, but he's a really good pass blocker. Deion Johns, welcome to the Raiders. Ranked number 27. We got him at 170. Hidden dev, no strength. I don't really care. He's a top 30 player. He's a first-round talent. We got him at 170. That's a pretty good way to upgrade our offensive line. For a second there, I was like, maybe I would rather a backup running back, but I think we made the right selection, as we still have a couple of players I like on the board. Matthew Daniels looks really good. I constantly get fooled by this archetype, but he looks really good as a speed rush defensive tackle. Tell me he's not actually bad. Ranked number 82, another top 100 player. We got him at 189. Hidden dev, 84 strength, 76 speed, 81 acceleration. This is another really good value pick for us as we are crushing in the 6th round. And I'd love to get that running back, but Mario Caldwell was the guy, and he's a Patriot. We'll check him out later, see what the deal is, but I'm pretty happy with the way this went. You know what we're going to do instead is look for a potentially elite kicker or punter. That's what we're going to do with this last pick. B kick accuracy, but only marginal kick power. I'm looking for the elite kick power. This is another really accurate kicker, but We want really good kick power. Not finding it just yet. The Raiders really don't have a need for a punter. Or I should say we don't. But if the right one's available, elite kick power, A kick accuracy, Pat Parker will be our pick. He's a top 10 player in the draft. Got him at 198. Welcome to the Raiders. That is our draft. And that, I'll tell you, in terms of bang for our buck, is one of the best draft classes I've ever had. Easily. Draft recap. 79 overall for Isaiah Linton. 72 for Deion Simmons is not so bad. 73 for DeAndre Alexander, and this is in the 3rd round. Jesus Francisco is a 69. 75 for Deion Johns. 71 for Matthew Daniels. And 78 for Pat Parker. Now, we missed out on a couple of players that I definitely wanted. How's the running back? 69 overall. Nice. Does have hidden dev. He is 24, though. I mean, looks pretty solid, to be honest. And I think the Colts got the defensive tackle I wanted, which was Marshall Randall, right? 75 overall. He looks really good. But we got a pretty good defensive tackle, too. And it was a lot of picks later. Like, would you rather have Marshall Randall, who's a 75 overall, you know, like 10 or whatever picks earlier, or an extra 3rd round pick and DeAndre Alexander? He's -2 overall. Not quite as strong. Would you take the -2 overall to have an extra 3rd? I don't know. I think so, but there's no guarantee that that 3rd's going to be good. So, who knows? I mean, there were actually some pretty good rookie kickers. Normal dev for Christian Cummings, but again, the kick power is just not especially good. And then Jordan Knight, also normal dev, also not much of a leg. And we're going to sign Jalen Coker off of the Panthers practice squad. Or is he just in free agency? Maybe he just is. We need more at receiver. Jalen Coker seems like a pretty good fit. I'm going to try bucket drop. I'm really bad at this one. But if you can get gold, it's a lot of XP for the quarterback. And we could go from... Okay. We could go from 72 overall to like 80 in one season, which would be pretty nice. Oh, boy. I'm so bad at this one, though. I actually feel like I can get gold on this. Silver is, you know, very attainable. I think that the way to do this, bullet passes. Much easier with the bullet pass. Well, that's a lob. Oh, we didn't even have the arm strength to get there. That's fun. That might be it. That's gold. That's all you need. That's going to be 2 skill points, which will turn into a lot with the quarterback training we have on. And suddenly Deion Simmons is going to be a franchise-level quarterback. Win Offensive Rookie of the Year, we're set. Ooh, okay. Dev trait revealed for the rookie corner Linton. It was Superstar, and now it's Superstar X Factor. So the accuracy for Deion Simmons is overall not great, but everything else looks to be in a pretty good spot. I think the accuracy is going to take a big jump up here. Jesus Francisco's up to a 71 overall. He's actually very interesting. Only 21 years old. Of course, rookie out of Texas. Hook him. 88 hit power. We got the coverage up a little bit. It's not very good. Block shedding is not great. But could he be a solid starter for us in a couple of seasons? I think so. And then, obviously, defensively... You can see how good the offense is. Simmons is up to an 83 overall. Training camp, I would recommend doing it. Linton's got 5 skill points here. He's going to end up being a really, really good starter for us. Coverage is pretty good. Tackling's pretty low. But he's going to play on the outside. He's going to be a lockdown corner. He's going to be a really great player. Also, why do I feel like Mike Haynes worth 39? Or Lester Hayes, maybe. I feel like one of those corners. Lester Hayes worth 37, one of the great Hall of Fame corners for the Raiders back in the 80s, I believe. And Mike Haynes wore number 22 with the Raiders. 40 with the Patriots. But yeah, 39's an interesting one. Was Nate Hobbs 39, maybe? Nate Hobbs was 39. All right, my number knowledge is not as bad as it seemed with the Lester Hayes shout. But that was also in the 80s. I wasn't alive then. Even though I get called Unk now in my comment section. 86 play rec. It's ridiculous for Isaiah Linton. It's carrying his overall a little bit, but I don't really mind. We signed Kenneth Gainwell. We're going to sign James Conner. Could use more depth at running back. I tried to draft one. It just didn't end up happening. I think this team's in a really, really good spot to be successful. We're at 80 overall. You know, it's not amazing, but I feel like once you see the team, you're going to see the vision. This team is so much better than what we had in Season 1. Training camp with these coach abilities is just so vital. I mean, Deion Simmons is up to an 83 overall scrambler archetype. 90 medium, 90 short accuracy. The accuracies weren't so bad, but, I mean, add his athleticism with now the developing accuracy, even though accuracy is kind of weird in Madden. Like, it seems like everybody's got 90 accuracy, weirdly enough. It's kind of one of the problems I faced with Tyler Shuck in Saints franchise. And I'm like, well, how do we move off of him? He's got a decent arm, decent mobility, 90 accuracy, but he really wasn't that good. But the fact that Deion Simmons is a rookie, we're going to start Deion Johns over Dylan Parham. I just think younger and the dev trait gives us a really good chance to be super successful. Charles Grant is up to a 78. I said it'd be a bit of a process with him, but it's been a quick process so far. He's already up to a 78 overall. The O-line is starting to look good. Parham is definitely better than Rodgers, but Rodgers is younger and has star dev. I think it's the right call. Parham becomes a potential trade piece. I know we extended him, right? He's going to be somebody that gets traded probably, just because I would prefer the younger, higher development option. At receiver, we probably could use a fifth. But, I mean, I could just move Dylan Laube to receiver. That's the entire skill set anyway. But I think we're going to leave him where he is. Maybe sign a receiver. And then defensively, still some big-time holes. The defensive line, I feel good about. We brought in Brzee. Alexander and Daniels are both rookies with potential. I don't know that we're going to suddenly be a Super Bowl contender. And the playbooks are probably not very good here with the Raiders. But I've seen them be quite successful in simulation before. We have Ashton Genty. We have a great tight end. We have some really good developing receivers in Thornton and Jack Besh. Trey Tucker's a solid third option. I think this could be a sneaky good team. So we'll see what happens. I mean, Parker, I'd love to be able to develop him as a kicker, but it's just, that's super unrealistic. He's got 99 kick power. I mean, would I rather have him compared to AJ Cole? He's going to be under contract for 4 seasons. We spent a draft pick on him. No, we didn't. No, we did. We did. So I think once AJ Cole's contract is up, I think we just let him walk. It's not up for a while, and he's not all that expensive either. His player card kind of looks like Micah Bell from Red Dead Redemption 2. It's interesting. He's got a heck of a look. He's really good. So we're just going to waste a roster spot on a second punter. It's an interesting strategy. I don't know. This draft class features a couple quarterbacks at the top, but I don't think we're going to be in the conversation to take any of those. Edge rusher, huge need. Hopefully that is a class strength. It's not. D-tackle, corner, wide receiver. Could still consider both of those, corner and receiver. D-tackle, I mean, maybe as well. So we could consider all of those positions quite comfortably. Okay, doing pretty well here. 5-2 at the midseason mark. Set our scouting and national focus on, I mean, probably receiver. It could really go either way between needing a corner and a receiver. I feel like there might be more receivers that we're going to be interested in finding out about. I don't know that we want to sign Trey Tucker to an extension. It really isn't too bad, though. 2 years, maybe a little over $7 million. But I don't know that he's worth much more than that to me. And Tyree Wilson, I'd love to upgrade in the draft. I'd give him, because we have so much money, I'd give him the 2 years he's looking at a little bit less money. We may end up coming up to his demands, but I'm not super interested. Then, you know, a lot of guys we just signed out of free agency. We don't really have many free agents this year. So I'm excited about where this team is. 5-2 here at the midseason mark in Season 2 is really, really good. Deion Simmons could win Offensive Rookie of the Year and get catapulted up to like a 90 overall as a rookie. It would be incredible. Ooh, and suddenly we are 6-5. So the season has completely fallen apart. What a run. DeAndre Alexander just got 17,000 XP for hitting his 5th sack of the season. Okay. Ooh, interestingly enough, this looks nothing like Darian Porter, but he's getting quite good. I love these super athletic players because you can't teach that, but you can help them get better at everything else in Madden, not necessarily in real life. I think there's a misconception that people think young also means potential when it definitely does not all the time. So that's fun, I guess, to crush dreams for no reason. But, you know, I tend to prefer the really good athletes because here in Madden, you can just upgrade everything else. And this team's getting pretty good. I'm trying to upgrade them manually in a way that makes some of these one-trick ponies a little bit better at a bunch of different things. Some are a little bit slow. I don't know that Deion Johns is ever going to be a good run blocker, but he's great in pass pro. Okay, this seems to be like the most stacked receiver class I've ever seen. Everyone has A catching. Is that typical? Kind of doesn't seem like it. Robbie Clifton also seems to be quite a good route runner. I haven't done anything to change the strength of the draft class. That is a feature that exists. I haven't done that. This might just be a really good receiver class when we're considering a receiver, which that would be kind of nice. Although nobody has above B deep route running. Carlos Medrano, though, only D catching, but some other good abilities for sure. If you can just ignore that his catching is awful. But D catching is still probably like in the 70s. Even though that doesn't actually make sense. That's probably what it is. So not that bad. Eric Corner looks very good at first glance. Can run block and pass block. A rarity. But I don't know that we need tackle anymore with Charles Grant becoming quite good. Could we consider a guard? Jamarcus Hazelwood is like the opposite of Deion Johns. This guy's a big, powerful, run-blocking, but can pass block right guard. Here's what we need to do. We need to draft Jamarcus Hazelwood and just put him in on run plays and Deion Johns on pass plays. That's genius. I will say we also need edge rusher, and it does not seem to be that good of a class. Maybe Zay is worth a look. 6'1", 270. He's got that Dwight Freeney build. All right, we came up just barely on the Tyree Wilson contract, and he's accepted. I don't really want to let Trey Tucker go, but I kind of, just based on dev trait and age, I'd rather have Jack Besh and Dante Thornton, and we might draft a receiver. So what is Trey Tucker even doing? He's coming back to the Raiders. That was one of those like old-fashioned, made you look, oop, gotcha, say one thing, do another as I'm saying it. Little bait and switch. That's classic Gene Dangus. Oh, and we didn't make the playoffs, so hey, we had a heck of a run. 8 wins is improvement. Deion Simmons is doing Geno Smith things at quarterback, but he continues to get better. I don't know that he's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year with these numbers, but I think it was mostly a pretty good year, and his arm continues to get better in terms of overall accuracy. Still a scrambling archetype. He's got such great speed, but the fact that the arm was in a pretty good spot to begin with, I think gives him true franchise potential. And he's got QB of the future and day one starter. I don't think we're too far away from the franchise quarterback tag. Ashton Genty was awesome. 1,600 yards, 13 touchdowns. Receiving, Brock Bowers led the way, but nothing particularly impressive in here. Spread the ball around fairly well, but I think in year 2, we're about to explode. I say year 2. Year 2 for Deion Simmons. I think our offense is going to explode. Looks like our defense was on the field way too much. Tyree Wilson posted 12.5 sacks, which led the team. 12 for Max Crosby, 9.5 for DeAndre Alexander, probably half a sack away from a ton of XP. He's probably in line for Defensive Rookie of the Year. It's a great season. Isaiah Linton only with 1 interception, but we're hoping because he wasn't really targeted very much because he was so good. Certainly one way to look at it. I don't know what the way to look at it is, though. You'd like to see more ball production, but it is what it is. Ashton Genty up to a 98 overall with morale. A true 94 overall, but he's only 22 years old. I know he started extremely highly rated, and for good reason. But now he's one of the best backs in the league here in year 3. DeAndre Alexander kind of looks incredible, by the way. +2 finesse moves, +1 hit power, 90 strength, 88 tackle, 86 block shed, 84 power moves, 85 finesse moves, 80 play rec, 81 awareness, 76 speed. You guys are seeing what it's saying. I'll read it to you in case you're okay, politically correct. What I should say now, visually challenged. I don't know. If you're as blind as a bat, that's what that said. We definitely need help off the edge. Our season, unfortunately, is over. But I think we're on the verge of a Super Bowl. I know it seems like a bit of a stretch, but we're so close. Tyree Wilson just had a great year. He might go up to star dev. Might look to draft an edge rusher anyway, or sign one out of free agency maybe. We have so much money. It's a rookie quarterback that wasn't even taken high in the draft. It's as cheap as it gets. Eagles crush the Broncos in the Super Bowl as Saquon wins Super Bowl MVP. Jalen Hurts wins league MVP. And hey, the Rams did pretty well. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Trent Staley at quarterback. And Defensive Rookie of the Year is Andy Richardson, what appeared to be an awesome defensive end or edge for the Browns. And he had a great year. Didn't end up being a top 5 talent, but ended up being quite good. One Defensive Rookie of the Year. Obviously, going to pick up the 5th-year option on Brock Bowers. And I don't really think we need to sign or re-sign any of these players. I think I would just prefer to hit free agency. We have $165 million in available salary cap. This is not the time to be stingy. This is the time to absolutely pay somebody. And I guess Rashee Rice is going to be a decent option. If you don't care about him, you know, man, this is not a good thing because I can't even say what I was going to say. You're just going to have to think about what I could have said, and that's as much as I'm giving you, dude. I can't. Jamarcus Hazelwood is a top 5 talent at guard, by the way. He might be a generational guard. Drafting him. Jason Leonard is a round 1 talent that we can get comfortably on day 2. We've got some options here, but I mean, either way, either receiver you sign here, you're conflicted about what they do. Tyreek Hill, watch out for the ladies. Rashee Rice, I don't know. You're not exactly keeping the streets of Las Vegas safe, but it's been an issue before. Paying Tyreek Hill $30 million feels really stupid, but it's a 1-year deal. That's kind of as much as I'm willing to do. I don't really like the available free agents. Tyreek Hill's a Panther. Rashee Rice to the Rams. The reason I didn't go after him is he had no interest. So I thought we'd have to really, really, really pay him. And we have the money. Maybe that's a miss. Maybe it's not. But we have salary cap space to potentially acquire a big player via trade. We have, 3 first-round picks. If you don't love what's available, I don't think force it. Deion Simmons, Offensive Rookie of the Year for the AFC. Superstar dev. All right, I didn't think he was going to get it, but he did. He's incredible. What a player. Yeah, Parham and Rodgers are potentially gone. We need Deion Johns, but we can get something back for either of those guards. So, may look to make a trade there. Ashton Genty is up to Superstar X Factor. And then defensively, Max Crosby's up to Superstar X Factor if he wasn't. Matthew Daniels, Superstar Dev. Did he have that or did he get it? Oh, he had it. Superstar Dev for Matthew Daniels. Okay. I don't think we're going to be drafting a defensive tackle then, although there seem to be some pretty good ones. Maybe Brian Brzee could get moved. Ronnie Hickman's up to Star Dev. It is actually kind of good now. We need linebacker. I still think we need something off the edge. Tyree Wilson didn't really get a whole lot better for somebody that just put up 12 sacks. You'd think, right? But it didn't happen. Channing Tennant apparently is having a good offseason. Had a good combine. He's undrafted talent. Thanks for the story. That's helpful. Now, Zay here from Oklahoma. I thought it said round 1 to 2 talent. Now it says round 1. So he's definitely one of those players on the edge. So I'm not going to get too excited about a potential top 10 type of guy when he's probably closer to a, you know, round 1 to 2 talent, maybe outside of the top 20 even. Got to choose a couple of focus players here. And again, at the top of the board, there are some really good players. Would I consider Rob Polk? He's got A finesse moves, B block shot, A power moves, A tackle. Very good athleticism. He looks like a top 5 talent to me. We have the picks to be a little creative with what we want to do. Rob Polk is a top 5 talent. Where are our picks? Number 6. That's pretty good. Number 14. Jamal Maynard is a top 5 talent. Okay, well, that's interesting. Will be available at 14, you'd expect, based on him projected to us in the mock draft there. 24, Jamarcus Hazelwood. Probably just stick and pick. So, interesting. I like the idea of who we would take at 14 and 24, was it? Trading up for Rob Polk is an option. He looks like he'd be great. But also what we could do with this pick is get a big-time edge rusher, which I might prefer that. So we've got picks. We've got the ability to trade a couple of players. The biggest areas of need, we're about to get a good guard, hopefully. Wide receiver. Looking for a big-time receiver. Linebacker still. But I might trade Tommy Eichenberg. We can draft one down the board. Seems like there was a round 1 talent at linebacker. So this top pick has a ton of potential. Ton of potential. We could also draft a receiver. We've got some options here. Let's see what happens. Haven't really decided. We're going to just see how it feels. We have, again, the 6th pick. Back-to-back years. Polk looks very good. Do we want to take a receiver? There are many round 1 talents at receiver. Many. Just deciding who's the best out of the bunch. We don't have a 2nd round pick. We have 2 3s. I'd love to trade number 6 and maybe a future pick for a real top of the line edge rusher and a 2nd rounder. Maybe even multiple. So this is a pretty big trade. We are trading Caleb Rogers, a first number 6, a first number 14, a 3rd, a 4th, and a future 3rd to get back Myles Garrett. That's pretty good. A 2nd and a 3rd from Cleveland. A lot of moving parts in this one, but this is why you go out and get multiple first-round picks. Myles Garrett is a Raider. Yes, he's 31 years old. He's still incredibly good. Incredibly good. This is an upgrade over Tyree Wilson, who now has become a little bit more expendable. And the Browns have 6, 14, and 16. We have 24. I'd like to trade up a little bit. I just don't know if I trust the guard to be available. He's supposed to be, but you never know. And then 48, I don't think is quite good enough either. I'd like to move up into the 30s probably, so got to find somewhere where that would make sense. Tyree Wilson and number 80 helps me get number 42 from Chicago. I still would like to move up from 24. I am kind of putting my eggs in the basket of this guard is going to be a huge difference maker for us. So we're going to trade Dylan Parham, and looks like the Bears are interested. Can anyone else be? Dylan Parham, number 24, a 4 and a 5, gets us a first-round pick this year and a second-round pick next year from the Cardinals. That moves us up to number 20. It's a slight trade up. I'm hoping the guard will be available at that spot. I've got no reason to expect him to get taken ahead of that, and he is available. So it's going to be a guard for us at number 20 overall. We know he's a top 5 talent. There are some round 1 receivers in this range as well. Maynard is a top 5 talent as well. That is still potentially in play, but it's going to be Jamarcus Hazelwood at this pick. He can run block. He's an incredibly strong, decent athlete, and he can pass block. So, no-brainer here. Jamarcus Hazelwood is the pick. I expect him to be a top 2 player in this draft. He is number 2. Got him at number 20. Shows advanced knowledge of defense pressure concepts. Bullied defensive lineman with his strength, and he's a great pass blocker. 98 strength. Okay. Hidden dev. he is an instant starter. So who would we really consider here? I mean, there are a number of good receivers. I like Terrence Porter quite a bit. I think he's a well-rounded player, good athlete, kind of just does everything pretty well. We don't really need another receiver unless they're going to be quite good because we have Trey Tucker, who's a solid third option. But if we could take a big swing, there are some round one players in this class. Robbie Clifton is another really solid player overall. Can catch, decent route runner, of course. Speed is lacking a little bit. Jamal Maynard actually goes at 21 to Cincinnati. So that was a top 5 talent at corner. Just wasn't really a big need for us as the Bills get another Benford at corner. I always feel like it should be Benford, but it is Christian Benford. And now they add Damian Benford. They're going to have an entire secondary of Benfords. It's an interesting strategy. Maybe it works out. You know what's funny is Zachary Schwartz just went to the Chiefs at 28. And that is, and Belote, I meant to check his true talent. I don't know what it was. He was a focus player. But I was thinking Zachary Schwartz, they had a Mitchell Schwartz play right tackle for the Chiefs for a while. And then Mitch Gold is the very next pick. But we want to get Jason Leonard. And we probably want to bring in a receiver. Not really interested in trading, too high up for one, but we're in striking range. We have 42 and 48. 48 is probably earmarked for the linebacker. I think that is certainly the move. Should be available. I would be surprised if he wasn't. He really has no business being selected before that, but you never know with this game. And really the NFL draft. I feel like this is where the run on receivers is going to start. There goes Cody Finney, who seemed to be quite good. I think it's going to happen pretty soon. The reason I'm kind of letting these guys go off the board is I'm okay with either Robbie Clifton or Terrence Porter. So whichever one is still available. And even Devin Peterson seems okay. If we want just to take a shot at a receiver, I'm not going to trade up for one. There goes Todd Reinhart. Patriots, I could see going with a receiver. They go Devin Peterson. And again, I'm really okay just taking either. They're both 21 years old, both playmaker archetypes. And there goes Robbie Clifton. So we're going to try to trade up with the Colts here. The Colts sniped the defensive tackle we wanted. So we can actually take a look at how he's developing. His dev trait. Just star, he's an 80 overall. We definitely developed better. We're a couple picks away. I don't really care. We're going to move up. We can add a 7th round pick. It's not going to be enough. What about a future 6 on top of that? And that's going to make it happen. It's a 2, a 6, and a 7. For number 40, we're going to take a receiver with this pick. I think he could be pretty good. Might have been the player I opted to take anyway, but our decision has been made for us. Terrence Porter is the selection, hoping that he's a top 20 talent. And he is barely. Number 18, didn't drop a pass at the combine. Strong hands to make catches through contact and high-level deep route running ability. He's got hidden dev, high 80s or low 90s, everything for athletic ratings despite strength being less than that, so not everything. But I think Terrence Porter could end up being a great player for us. Reminds me of Jerry Porter, former Raider receiver that I guess a lot of you probably don't even know. Probably have never heard of Jerry Porter, but he was a pretty good player. What's a good comp for him ability-wise? Maybe Jacoby Myers, just someone that's a solid starter, but never really one of the top receivers in the league. I don't know. We're drafting our linebacker. It's Jason Leonard. He's actually a top 10 talent. Got him at number 48. He's ranked number 10. Great speed to cover and track down tackles. High football IQ stands out on film. And shows knack for getting ball carrier to the ground. Pretty helpful as a linebacker. Only normal development, but great athlete. 86 speed, 91 acceleration. Hopefully he wins Rookie of the Year or gets an upgrade in training camp. But I'm pretty happy with the way our draft has gone, especially when you consider that Myles Garrett was kind of a part of it. I mean, not really, but we spent picks to get Myles Garrett. So, I mean, that's pretty good. This may be my worst draft pick of the video, even, but Nigel Lawry will be the pick. A stiff arm, A trucking. He ran 4.37 at his pro day. We could use a backup running back one way or another, so he's going to end up being the pick. He's top 100 player. We got him at 77. Another Wisconsin back. I don't know. I think that's fine. We're going to end the draft here. Draft recap. It's an 82 overall for Jamarcus Hazelwood. Terrence Porter was a 76. Jason Leonard's a 77. Nigel Lawry's really not even bad at a 71 overall. Eric Corner was the top-rated player in the draft. Rob Polk tied at 82. 86 power moves. I say the other guy was the top rated. He was the second highest rated, the tackle. Rob Polk is really, really good, but I'm comfortable not making the move up for another defensive tackle. Maynard was a 79. Yeah, that's solid. Quite a few 78s, including Robbie Clifton, Cody Finney. Clifton was really the only other receiver I considered. He has normal dev. Looks quite solid other than that. How about Superstar X Factor for our young quarterback? Deion Simmons he's going to be a 99 soon. Very soon. Deion Simmons is up to a 90 overall. Accuracy is great. Throw power and speed obviously have not gone up at all, but I don't really care very much. Wish the awareness was a bit higher. I think he's about to have a huge year. Only 23 years old. We have an MVP level player here. This will be the team for season number 3. Offensive line is in a pretty good spot, I would say. Receivers, running back, quarterback obviously seem to be in quite a good spot as well. Just need a bit of development. And kind of the same thing at linebacker. We have Tommy Eichenberg as an option, but Francisco and Leonard are going to be the two backers that probably get the most play for us. Could go in a sub linebacker and get Eichenberg in there, but his cover skills are just so poor. I like the pass rush. I mean, Myles Garrett, man, what an upgrade. And I think this is going to be a huge year for us. It cannot be understated what these guys are. Well, it probably could be understated. It can't be overstated what a combo of Max Crosby and Myles Garrett has the potential to do. This could be not only game-wrecking, but league-wrecking. I'm thinking this could be the Super Bowl year. Could be. Well, I don't know about the Super Bowl, but we are an 89 overall and 4-2. The offense is struggling a bit, I would say, about middle of the pack in terms of points per game. Passing yards per game is not very high, and the running game slightly above average, but nothing spectacular. Could, come away with the AFC West, but it's not a given. The Broncos are a good team. Max Crosby seems to be dominating, though, and I'm sure Myles Garrett is performing quite well as well. 17 players ready to negotiate extensions. We have so much money, and it's really not a lot of impactful players. Is that 17? That's a quick 17. I saw like 8. I don't know. JPJ, definitely want him back. Thinking a 5-year extension. Really not that bad for a starter at center. And then Brian Brzee hasn't really developed very much since we got him. Only a +3 overall. I guess we focus more on DeAndre Alexander and Matthew Daniels. Brzee's only a couple of years older than both of them. I would sign him to a 2-year extension. Could consider upgrading him, but it's a good player to lock in. Playoff time. I imagine we're going to be a playoff team here in year 3, but it's not a given. We do go 15-2. Okay, so yes. After a 4-2 start, we won out. Lost to the Steelers and Broncos. So tough to lose that division game, but won every single game for the rest of the year. Some of these were actually very close. 3 points over the Lions, 5 points over the Ravens, but these are on the road. Tough teams that we're playing, and we're getting good results. 15 wins is really, really good, and Deion Simmons was a big reason why 3,600 yards passing is not amazing, but it was a very run-heavy offense, as you're about to see with Ashton Jeanty. 28 touchdowns, 8 picks for Deion Simmons, and Ashton Jeanty. I feel like I'm saying Ashton weird, but I don't know. You didn't need to know that. But 1,700 yards, nearly 7 per carry is insane on 264 attempts. These are Boise State numbers. They were actually even better, if you can believe it. 23 touchdowns, over 100 yards per game. Deion Simmons actually added a bit on the ground as well. Receiving, we had one 1,000-yard receiver. It was the rookie Terrence Porter, 1,007, 13 touchdowns. Very interesting year. Brock Bowers took a bit of a back seat, but seems like everybody did, to Ashton Genty. Defensively, man, what a rookie year for Jason Leonard. 132 tackles, 9 for loss, 7 sacks, and 2 picks. What? 20 sacks for Max Crosby, 18 for Myles Garrett, 7 for Leonard, 6.5 for DeAndre Alexander. Interceptions, not really many, but we were too busy getting the quarterback on the ground. We had the 4th best offense in terms of yards, 2nd best in terms of scoring, 1st best defense in terms of scoring, so points allowed. And we'll move on to the division round of the NFL playoffs here. First round bye, 15-2, and it's the Indianapolis Colts. They're an 87 overall. Will they end our season? I'm not jumping in for the divisional. Will we make it to the AFC Championship? We will not. 24-21. We're headed to another season. Season recap, Ravens beat the Rams in the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow wins league MVP. You can see that Jason Leonard, maybe you can't see it a little bit. Jason Leonard wins Rookie of the Year. So he goes from normal development to probably superstar. And we will head to the offseason. Still a lot of money. I'm still willing to make a big splash in free agency if that's what makes the most sense. We'll pick up the 5th year on Genty. Tommy Eichenberg is good depth. He's insanely cheap. He wants to be here. No brainer to keep him around. And don't really need DJ Glaze. Don't really need anybody else in here. Well, we don't need Jahmyr Gibbs. We have Genty. Jack Campbell, we will give a lot to. He wants an insane amount of money, but that means the market is not super strong for him. We might be one of the only teams that even offer. Only 2 offers right now. It might only go up to 3. Joe Alt could be an upgrade. Cooper DeJean is an upgrade. I'm thinking probably DeJean, maybe Arnold, and certainly Jack Campbell. We're just going to take the Lions. They can't afford to bring back any of their stars. This is the team. Terrence Porter's actually our highest rated receiver at this point. That's interesting. Hazelwood has superstar dev. Morale is affecting these overall, so it's not quite as high as it looks, but it's still really good. And then defensively, it is superstar dev for Leonard. It's superstar dev for Andre Sisco, but I still feel like Cooper DeJean is a player worth signing. And then we'd probably move him to safety. I guess over Ronnie Hickman, who's not bad, but could be good depth. And, I mean, a big-time defensive tackle could be good over Brian Brzee, but it's not necessarily the biggest need. Let's start with Jack Campbell. It's so much money, but we have so much money. We've saved for an opportunity like this. Super Bowl window is open. I will overpay to get Jack Campbell, and we might even have to pay more than that. He wants a massive contract. But we are in position to offer it. We have so much money. Jack Campbell, I mean, you've got no choice but to sign this, surely. I think we can get DeJean somewhere around 20 per year. He may consider that. It's a pretty good offer. Terry and Arnold not really getting a ton of offers either. Jonathan Allen for a year could be the one. Could be. I also think a really good backup running back could be wise. We're the only team offering on Jonathan Allen. It's a 1-year deal. I think we're about to clean up in free agency. And Josh Jacobs has no offers. He wants to be here. I'm thinking a 1-year deal to return to the Raiders as a secondary option behind Genty. We're going after quite a few top-tier players here, but there's not really a ton of competition. And I could see us sweeping. We signed Jack Campbell, Cooper DeJean, and Terrion Arnold. Jacobs and Jonathan Allen are still out there. And we've added them as well. A ton of money, and I think it was spent well. Still $70 million in available salary cap. And Josh Jacobs at fullback. I like it. Oh, we could bring Michael Mayer back as well. It's kind of expensive, but you know what? Let's get Michael Mayer back. I could still consider drafting a tight end. Could even consider a fullback as well. Let's get Dante Ware. All right. We did sign Dante Ware. I'm sure Michael Mayer has re-signed as well. I say re-signed, obviously. It's signing him, but he used to be here. And, I mean, we're about ready for the draft. We just spent so much money in free agency, but a lot of short-term deals that we're not really going to be tied to, like Jonathan Allen and Josh Jacobs and Dante Ware, the fullback, and Michael Mayer. Where are we picking here? Probably around the 20s, early 20s. We are at 28. Is that our pick? I guess that's first round bye, elimination. Yeah, man. I guess I think first round exit should be a little bit higher, but we did get the first round bye, so I guess 28 does make some sense here. Could take a deep threat receiver out of Texas. I'm tempted. Ran 4.24. We could pay homage to the late, great Al Davis, but I don't know. I mean, we don't really have any needs. That's the thing. I don't know about any top 5 talents. Kind of going in blind. We're going to skip to our pick at 28. We're never going to really trade up for a player here. I would say that our team's timeline doesn't really factor for, players we have to develop. That'll take a little while. There are some good running backs. 2 round 1 talents. We scouted them. They both seem quite good. Obviously, we'll not be drafting a running back. I was just curious, which is maybe not the best use of resources, but I got to be honest. I was just curious. Why does Jerry Elliott look insane? He's very accurate. He's got great throw power. Is Jerry Elliott a stud? He's only got A awareness. Christopher Boston also looks kind of insane. Elite throw power. Christopher Boston, LSU quarterback, strong arm. Welcome back, white Jamarcus Russell. I don't know what I'm doing here. He's ranked number 27. We got him at 28. He's got hidden dev. Throw the football over the mountains. And we just Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, and maybe later on in the video we're going to Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. Give me a running back here. Hugh Black. No, why would I take a running back? I mean, there's no reason to. This does not help us at all. But I don't know what would. I mean, we're kind of awesome. No 90s on the interior defensive line. Only 1 at corner. I don't know. Only 1 linebacker, I guess. It's not the best team I've ever built, but it's tough to point to any one position and say, yeah, that needs upgrading. I mean, maybe a true star wide receiver one. Maybe that's the move. I don't know. Jack Besh, a future 1 and 2 2s, gets us Josh Downs. The second round pick is right now one of them. Josh Downs has superstar X Factor. He's just a little bit better than Jack Besh right now. And again, our window is right now. I think Josh Downs helps us become a better team. I think it was a move that needed to be made. We're trying to win a Super Bowl. Let's do it. This running back, Hugh Black, is still available. He's still a round 1 talent. Fine. I'll draft him here at the back end of the second round. Hugh Black, again, he broke the game. Because they don't want me to make the joke I was going to make. And that's fair. Oh, it crashed because he's off the board. That makes sense. Let's take Taylor Mitchell. He's a linebacker with elite speed and change of direction. Skipped the combine, but did his pro day. Baller move. Give me Taylor Mitchell. Linebacker out of Iowa State. He's ranked number 116. We got him at 60. But he's very athletic and has hidden dev. So I feel good about it. CPU can handle the rest. Draft recap. Christopher Boston is a 76 overall, which is kind of one of the highest quarterbacks you can draft. You're not seeing a lot of 80 overall QBs. Every now and again. This draft class was stacked. Johnny Bravo. Oh, I should have seen Iowa tight end. These guys are always freaks. Yeah, he's pretty good. He is pretty good. Even had a cartoon about him. He was so good. Ben Cabrera, very good tackle. Joel McBride, very good tackle. This is quite the draft. I mean, the Saints got 2 top 5 players, and they've done something like that before. They had a draft where they drafted Alvin Kamara, Marcus Williams, Ryan Ramczyk, Marshawn Lattimore, Trey Hendrickson, Al-Qadim Muhammad, who is still like a solid NFL player. Am I forgetting anybody in the draft class? That's a lot of players to name in just a draft class, but it is one of the best that I've probably ever seen. So I think it's worth talking about. Saints 2017 draft class was as followed. I did forget a player. Marshawn Lattimore, Ryan Ramczyk, Marcus Williams, Alvin Kamara, Alex Anzalone, who's another solid NFL player, and then Trey Hendrickson and Al-Qadim Muhammad. Yeah, that's quite the draft class. I wish I could see the fan reaction to me drafting a quarterback here. A simply insane pick. But it's potential trade bait. And he looked to be a really, really good quarterback. He was. We don't necessarily need him, but maybe there's an injury. There won't be, but maybe. And I don't know. We went out, we traded for what I felt like we needed. The team is, fantastic overall. It's tough to point to many flaws. We don't really have any. We are decently far in the future, but this is what the team looks like for 2028. I wish the offensive line was a little bit better. I feel like they haven't progressed quite as much as I would have liked. But, the left side looks great with Hazelwood and Colton Miller. It's a great draft pick for us. The receiving core looks quite good. Obviously, I feel good about the backfield and the quarterback with Deion Simmons. And then defensively, it's a pretty good-looking defense. I think Andre Sisco will start at strong safety. And I feel quite good about the corners. This, to me, needs to be a Super Bowl team. I can't imagine any team in the league will be comparable. This is the best team in the league. It should be a Super Bowl team. Let's go out and make it happen. We lose to the Bucs and we beat the Broncos by 1, but we are 6-1. So that feels pretty good. And there's an Auburn running back at the top of the draft here. That could be quite interesting. A Bo Jackson of sorts. I actually think in Saints franchise right now, one of the top players in the draft is an Auburn running back with quite a similar build. Very, very similar, which leads me to believe that this is a specific archetype, which is very intriguing for Saints franchise. If you don't watch Saints franchise, you probably don't care about any of that, but no spoilers. Just check out that series. Not going to make any trades at the deadline. I think we've made plenty of trades. I think the team is in a really good position to succeed. It's just about going out and getting the results on the field now. And 9-1 is a pretty good start to the year. I'm expecting to beat the Rams, but the Rams are a very good team. They've experienced a lot of success. Their offense is high-powered, and they do come out on top 31-27. Maybe Super Bowl revenge is on the card. This team needs to be a Super Bowl team. I keep saying it, but obviously that's the goal. Not every, rebuild ends in a Super Bowl for me. Sometimes we say, hey, it's been 4 or 5 years. We just can't find the playoff success with the Madden simulation engine. It's really about building the team. Here is how incredible the team is. But at the end of the day, the ultimate goal is to win the Super Bowl, to hoist the Lombardi Trophy, and that's what we're trying to do here. It really feels like we're so much better than every other team in the league. And again, it's another 15-2 season, back-to-back 15-2 seasons as Deion Simmons goes crazy. 3,600 yards, but 38 touchdowns to just 4 interceptions for the 24-year-old. He's got 99, a lot of things. Throw power and speed, of course, remain unchanged. Genti was not quite as good as last year, but he was still incredible. Close to 1,600 yards, 6 per carry, 14 touchdowns, did not fumble on 264 attempts, broke 49 tackles. Josh Downs does go over 1,000 yards and puts up 21 touchdowns. Porter, Thornton, and Brock Bowers were also there, but it was the Josh Downs show in the red zone. The rest of the team combined, it seems like didn't have the same amount of touchdowns. Just wild compared to Josh Downs. Defensively, Jack Campbell had a great year. 17 TFLs for Myles Garrett, 15 for Crosby, 14 for DeAndre Alexander. A bit of a more even distribution among the defensive line in terms of sacks this year, but the numbers in general were just kind of down. And interceptions, I think, had a slight uptick, although nothing incredible. Cam Scattaboo leads the league in rushing yards. Hell yeah, dude. And we'll get ready for another first-round bye. We had the best scoring offense. We had the best scoring defense. That, to me, screams Super Bowl team. We're going to see who we play in the divisional. May have to jump in this time. Especially when that team is the Kansas City Chiefs. Show me Mike Dansby here. I really think this is like advanced scouting on the running back I'm going to see in Saints franchise. He's got A juke, A spin, A stiff arm, A trucking. This, to me, very much looks like a generational running back. Very much. Is Auburn running back a generational build? They unfortunately definitely have schools tied to positions and archetypes. Like we've seen, it's the Iowa tight end. It's the USC run support strong safety. Auburn running back would make sense to me because Iowa is kind of tight end university. USC, I guess, is safety university. They've had quite a few. But Troy Polamalu obviously stands out. This is a really, really good team. Auburn certainly has put forth a lot of running backs into the league, and they've had a lot of really good running backs in college. Obviously, Bo Jackson seems to be the one that everybody knows, but they had 2 running backs go in the top 5 of the same draft in 2004, I think it was. Could have been 2005. I think it was 2004. Cadillac Williams and Ronnie Brown, both top 5 picks at running back. Outside of those guys, there's also been, Kerryon Johnson was an NFL back who went to Auburn. I'm sure there are even more, but that's a pretty good chunk already. Between Bo Jackson and then 2 top 5 picks in Cadillac and Ronnie Brown, they've definitely produced a lot of running backs. Texas, I would say, is in the conversation for RBU, of course. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased with that. Shout out to, who is it? Ricky Williams behind me. But they've had a lot of Doak Walker winners for best running back in college football. And even some that you wouldn't expect. And outside of just winning the Doak Walker, the Heisman, like Earl Campbell did, you have Deontay Foreman, who's a Doak Walker winner. You have Cedric Benson, who I believe won the Doak Walker. You have Bijan Robinson. And then you have some other guys that have just been good or got to the league in terms of NFL running backs. Chris Obanaya, I think, is an underrated name. Jamal Charles obviously was an incredible NFL player playing his former team here in the Kansas City Chiefs. And we are up 10-7, enough waxing poetic about Texas running backs. We are going to win this playoff game 20-7 over the Kansas City Chiefs. It's an AFC West matchup in the divisional. And you wouldn't think that we'd be able to beat the Chiefs, but we hold Patrick Mahomes to 13 of 25, completing just 52% of his passes for fewer than 150 passing yards. Not a lot of offense in general in this game. Kind of a weird one. Roschon Johnson in the league. Obviously, there are a lot of schools vying for the title of RBU. What about Alabama? Yeah, obviously. Obviously, right? What about Miami, even? What about LSU? LSU's got a decent case for it as well. It's not just about having, okay, this guy's the best player in the league. It's about how many they produce, about how good those guys are, how good the players are in college. Wisconsin, is they've got a bigger claim than almost anybody with some of the backs that they've had, not only, in the NFL, but college football as well. Guys that maybe didn't even work out that much, but your Ron Dane was a Heisman winner, right? Jonathan Taylor, Wisconsin. Melvin Gordon, Wisconsin. Monte Ball, really more of a college back, but he was incredible. They've had a lot. Patriots, Raiders. We got the Richard Seymour Bowl. It was a Patriot and Raider, but also this is the Tuck Rule game. This one, not going to be quite the same conditions here in the Dome at Allegiant, but we are behind right now. Deep into the fourth quarter. We've turned over the football. The Patriots were a 13-game winner here. We need to score a touchdown. It's a pretty good player to go to in order to make that happen. It's Terrence Porter, and make a man miss with the juke and find the end zone. Touchdown, Terrence Porter. It just took one play. We will take the lead 17-14, and hopefully our defense can come out and make a stop. I don't know what is going on with the kicker. Chad Ryland is struggling. We're at home in a dome. Why is he shaky? It is all Madden difficulty, of course, but this is Sim. It is comp in Saints franchise. Makes it a little bit interesting, I guess. We totally changed all the settings for Saints franchise, and the game is hard. So hopefully should not struggle against the All Madden Sim CPU, but you never know. They can be really challenging at times as well. I don't know why Tommy Eichenberg's on the field, but Drake May could be quite the challenge, and Travion Henderson has such exceptional speed. We need to keep him bottled up here over the final 2 minutes or so. Drake May to throw an interception, hopefully. He's looking Max Crosby's way. Really, Drake May has put the ball into traffic back-to-back times. They keep going out in I for him like they're going to run it, and they decide to pass. This time they keep it on the ground, and I think Travion Henderson dragged him ahead, and the Patriots will keep the football. That's exactly what happened. That's wild. Drake May putting the ball in traffic. He's trying to throw a game-losing interception. He's had 3 that have been right into harm's way, and we just can't come away with the football. Screen! Please get out there. We're not going to. It's another first down for the Patriots. I'd love to get them out of field goal range. Obviously, they're not quite there yet, but they're on the verge with plenty of time and multiple timeouts. So, you know, dialing up the pressure would be something I'd consider, but the worst thing you can do is allow a touchdown if you're not really worried about going to overtime. But I'd love a stop before that. We're not going to get one. May under pressure, he's going to get sacked. This is what I was talking about, driving them back out of field goal range, forcing them to go for it on 4th down. So we got in a spot where it made sense, and just keep them here. Force incompletions, no free yards. I don't even love the check down there. Cam Little has the record for longest field goal in NFL history now. That's the Patriots kicker, and they may not even need him. What a bust there. May's going to get sacked. Max Crosby got to him. We're actually going to call a timeout. We'll do the Patriots a favor, but if you can get 2nd and 17, you need to be able to take advantage in this spot. Force a field goal. We want time to score. There's another timeout. 3rd and 12. Let's force an incompletion and save a timeout. We let that get wide open. Oh, man, that's on me. That is completely on me. And we are very much on the verge of losing this game. Patriots will spike, though. Might have thrown it away there. 3rd and goal. Patriots have called their final timeout. They're just going to try a kick here. And they're going to kick it and tie it. 17-17 with 17 seconds to go. It's a sign. Tell me we have number 17 back returning. We have 1 timeout. 1 timeout. Can we get into field goal range? Genty's over 100. I don't really expect him to run the ball on this final drive. I say drive. It's maybe a play. We start with the ball on the 35-yard line. I mean, it's not impossible. Pass complete. Josh Downs. That might be field goal range. It's close. This is where I probably throw it. It stays in bounds, and then the clock runs out. But we might have a quick throw. And then can we get up and spike it in time? That's asking a lot. That is asking a lot. Let's see, 5 seconds. Ah, man, it might be possible. But the sideline's open. And how do we not have the opportunity to lead a player to the sideline? That's what I don't really get. They're going to press us on the outside. I could see Dante Thornton just winning. Launching it up. Hopefully this is not picked. It is picked. Off the tip. Of course it is. It always is. I didn't feel comfortable hitting from 60 after the first field goal, but obviously it would have been better than the interception that gives the Patriots the football. We are headed to overtime. Unreal. Patriots win the toss. How about you receive here? They do. It's not the right call. It's not sudden death. We'll get a chance to answer, and we are going to know exactly what we need. Let's play some good defense here. Also, keep in mind, Parker, who's kicking here, is not even our main kicker. It's our punter and kickoff specialist. Come on. I will say, I mean, I liked it when it worked out for me. I think the NFL moving the ball to the 35 on touchbacks is insanely stupid. I don't like it. You're basically guaranteeing field goal range for an offense. Not guaranteeing it, but I don't know. It feels like if you get the ball in the 35 and every NFL kicker can hit from the logo now, you need 15 yards to be in field goal range. That's it. That's a first down, and you're in field goal range. You need one. So you're at the end of the game. Game-winning drive opportunity. Oh, you left 17 seconds on the clock, or I don't know. That's obviously what happened to us, so we didn't score. You need a first down, and then like 5 or 6 yards, and then you can kick a field goal. It's just insane. They just lobbed me over the top. Good defense, incomplete. Don't review that. Cam Little for the lead to make it 20-17. That kick is good. Touchdown wins the game. We baited Drake May into the throw over the top. That was a sick attempt. Touchdown wins the game. Touchdown sends us to the Super Bowl. Let's go. Big playoff performer Schilling. Seen that before. Please do not look into what our return man will say in his post-career. No, I don't know. Here we go. From the 37. I want Bowers, but we're going to take off. We have a quarterback with 90 speed. You know what I just realized? How will the Patriots stop that? It's kind of more of a question than anything else. That's a beautiful ball. Are you kidding me? What a throw. Oh my goodness. Beautiful anticipatory throw from Deion Simmons to hit Josh Downs. We are 19 yards away from the Super Bowl. Underneath. Great catch by Bowers. He comes back across. So no first down. Don't really mind that. 2nd and 1. That's wide open. It's telling me which player to throw to. How about I don't want that? Brock Bowers instead. But his juke was in slow motion, so he didn't get into the end zone. Instead, it's 1st and goal on the 2. Ashton Genty will not get there. He's got 16 for 111. How about attempt number 2? Genty with the juke. Genty with the touchdown. Genty to send us to the Super Bowl. Walk-off winner here at home. 23-20 is your final. The Raiders are headed to the Super Bowl. It has been a while. The last time it happened was... Can I even name the head coach? Who was the Raiders head coach following John Gruden? It's lost on me now at 4:39 in the morning. Ah, man, it's like on the tip of my tongue and I just can't get to it. Who took over for Gruden and then they played in the Super Bowl? Bill Callahan, of course. It had to have been Bill Callahan. I don't know how I couldn't come up with that. But, yeah, that's maybe why it felt like it was on the tip of my tongue, because I know, obviously, who Bill Callahan is quite well. One of the best offensive line coaches in NFL history. And the last Raiders Super Bowl win I just saw was in 1984. And we, unfortunately, are matched up against my favorite team, the New York Giants. The Giants have won and appeared in several Super Bowls since the Raiders last win. The Giants have won in 86, 90, 07, and 2011. The Raiders' last Super Bowl win was in 1984. The Giants also even made it another time in 2000, dropped one to the Ravens, but this is the team for the Super Bowl. Brock Bowers is no longer an X Factor, so that's not a thing for the Super Bowl. Andre Sisco is an X Factor, but this is your team for the big game. Super Bowl Tampa Bay. Kind of fitting here, that Raiders-Tampa connection with John Gruden. See if we can win it all. Oh my goodness. It is pouring down here in the Super Bowl. All right, we have inclement weather, but we are out to an early lead. Hopefully able to run the ball well, but we know the Giants have Cam Scatterbo. It's 14-7. We got a fumble recovery for a touchdown. It's 14-14. We've got the ball. It's 2nd and 13. 1:35 to play. We are in field goal range. The Giants have one timeout. We got to run the ball. They'll call their final timeout. Oh, look at Genty with the moves. Genty to make it 3rd and 1. We could have scored. I understand that. We probably should have got the first down first. Now we need to run the ball on Dexter Lawrence. I don't love that. Genty's not going to get there. My goodness. We've got a decision. I mean, we're lining up in QB sneak, but they're lined up to stop it. Oh, my goodness. I don't think we can go for it here. We're going to see. We're going to call a timeout. Here's the problem. Okay, here's the scenario. It is the Super Bowl. You're playing to win. If we take the points, we get the lead in the Super Bowl. But it's, again, like we talked about last game, it's not that many yards. The Giants could very easily get into field goal range. The conditions are not good. They've only scored 14. We've only scored 14. But with our offensive line, with Ashton Genty, do you not think you can pick it up? They're geared up to stop it. They really are. We're going to take the points. Tried to get him to jump. It wasn't happening. We're going to take the points. It's hard to say no to the lead at this stage in the game. I don't like how fast the meter is moving, but that's okay. The kick is good. We've got to keep the Giants out of field goal range. But you know what? Our defense has played well. I think it's just been tough conditions. And they need to get to probably at least the 40-yard line. At least. In bad conditions. And then kick in these conditions. Which could be challenging. You got one coach suggestion. It's cover 3 sky. I feel like I'm getting set up here. Let's see what we can do. Jackson Dart in at quarterback. Cam Scatterbo is an X factor. We can hardly even see who to cover. The Giants have no timeouts, so this clock's going to be ticking. Jackson Dart up to 67 yards passing. Not exactly the best game. We're inside 30 seconds. They're going to spike it. Oh, that is a bad call. They're going to get up to the line to waste time and then spike. Ooh, that's so bad. But we're not Giants fans right now. Come on, Raiders. Yeah, make that catch. No! Keep him in bounds. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. That's Guerrero. The Giants are probably going to get up and spike this. But this bullshit of the QB cadence force thing to waste like 5 or 6 seconds and then spike is another reason why this game is less than satisfactory, in my opinion. Like, what is that? The CPU's clock management, when you gotta have it, is so stupid. The QB cadence thing, so stupid. Keep him in bounds. The game's over. The Raiders are Super Bowl champions. I wish I could say that was a good try, but it really was not at all. 17-14 is your final in a rainy, awful Super Bowl. Jackson Dart had like 80 yards passing, maybe closer to 90 after that last one. I don't know what Simmons was able to do for us, but he did enough. You know why? Because he's going to get a Super Bowl ring. He's going to hoist the Lombardi Trophy. I don't think I've ever seen that graphic before, or animation, or visual. Cutscene is what that's called. NFL or winning quarterback talking to the media. I don't know. I've seen these presentations a million times. How many Super Bowls have I won in Madden all time? Hundreds. Minimum. Probably 1,000 plus. It's at least hundreds. At least. I've been doing this channel for over a decade. Or this channel, no, this channel might be a decade. Or maybe 9 years. Been doing YouTube and playing Madden for well over a decade. Deion Simmons put up 171 yards. And we'll never see the stats. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. That is the Raiders rebuild complete. And I will see you in the next one. Take it easy.